Welcome to Health Vision, WOUB's program on medicine and health. I'm Jackie Wolf, Associate Professor of Social Medicine at Ohio University. Dr. Mary Pat Mann is joining us today to talk about dreams and dream work. Mary Pat, it's really nice to have you here today.
I'm very happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Tell me why dreams are important.
Well, I suppose as a caveat at the beginning, I should say that not everybody would agree that dreams are important. There are some psychologists and physiologists who study dreaming who feel that they're just things that the brain does in its downtime and that we ought to just ignore it.
Really? I wasn't even aware of that because I thought that
yes.
especially psychologists really think dreams are important.
Well, of course many do, because on the side that I would tend to be on, feeling that dreams in fact are important, there's a long, long tradition of dream work, starting with Freud, of course, and Jungian psychologists. Dreams were very, very important in Carl Jung's psychology. But I guess the other thing I would want to say to that, on the side of dreams are important, is that every culture that we know about from the past and indigenous cultures today are dreaming cultures. The only culture that would not be described as a dreaming culture is our modern Western societies.
And explain what you mean, elaborate on that dreaming culture. I know that pictures have been found in caves, paintings that are presumed of people's dreams. So there's evidence left behind that indigenous people certainly made dreams central to their lives.
Right, and in fact, even when you get into a more technological society, for example, the very first writing that we have are cuneiform tablets from Babylonia and Assyria, and people have hypothesized that writing developed as a way to keep track of measures of grain, because that's what a lot of them are. But along with those transactional records, some of the very first writing that we have record dreams.
Really? I was not aware of that.
So a dreaming culture would be a culture in which there was a general agreement that dreams were important and valuable and worth sharing.
And it was something that people thought about and something that people talked about and something
Right.
that people shared.
Yes.
So that's what you're saying. It was an important,
Absolutely.
clear, visible part of the culture.
Right. In our culture today, there are pockets where people do that kind of work. But the reason why we don't think of our culture today as a dreaming culture is that it's not a public thing, even within family groups. Well, there are exceptions. There are families where dreams are shared. But, you know, your typical TV family or the kind of family that you think about sitting around the breakfast table does not generally start off by saying, well, let me tell you about my dream last night. So a dreaming culture would be one in which that did happen, and that dreams could have an even more important role in the culture in terms of guiding actual decisions about things that would happen. For example, there are many stories, both in the myth and legend sense of story and in the ethnographic tradition, of Native American people, First Nation people in the US and Canada, who used dreams as a vital part of their decision-making process in the culture.
So is this, when you talk about dream work, is this what you're talking about? You're talking about utilizing dreams in some way. Is that what dream work is?
Yes. Not everybody today is going to suddenly wake up and make decisions on how to live their life based on their dreams. That's not our tradition. That's not the way we understand them. At the same time, there are people who get guidance and direction from their dreams, if only in the sense of clarifying their own feelings and thoughts about a particular decision that's coming up. For example, one of the things that you might run across if you were going to work with someone like me or someone else on your dream work would be to say, okay, Jackie, you have this issue that you need to make a decision about. What I'm going to ask you to do is to incubate a dream that might help you clarify this decision.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that means, incubate a dream.
What that would mean is that there would be a process where you would clear your mind as you were getting ready to go to sleep. So that's sort of step one. You know, you're not laying in bed watching the television, you're not reading the latest novel about serial killers. You know, you get yourself in a state where as you're getting ready to fall asleep for the night, you're relaxed and your mind is clear.
So this requires a bit of meditation skills as well.
That can help, yes.
Because when you say clear your mind, that's difficult for a lot of busy people
Absolutely.
in this culture to do.
Absolutely,
Because
it
I
is.
mean, your mind is going so fast all the time, and you're worrying about what happened that day and what's going to happen tomorrow. So just clearing your mind sometimes is a skill that we're not very good at.
And that's part of what interferes with being able to dream clearly and remember your dreams. You know, if you're laying down to go to sleep at night and you're thinking, okay, I have to meet the bus at 3 o'clock, and then I have to go to Kroger, and then I have to write up my report, and then I have to be at this meeting, and
Right.
that's a hard thing. So yes, you're absolutely right. One of the suggestions, the kind of recommendations that are made are similar to meditation for clearing the mind. So you've done that. Your mind is clear. You think about the problem or the issue that you would like some guidance on, but in an open-ended way. You know, I'm trying to decide where I want my career to go. We're thinking as a family maybe about a move. I'm concerned about this aspect of a relationship.
And this will trigger a dream, is what you're saying. If you think about the problem that you want to solve, or what kind of path you want to take, you will dream about it that evening.
Well, not always. I mean, it's a skill. You know, I'm not going to say that if you go to sleep tonight with a clear mind thinking about a particular problem, that in one night you're going to get a dream that's going to solve it for you. It's a process. It's a learning process. And then as the last step of the incubation, you would say, I would like a dream. I would like a dream that would help me gain clarity on this issue.
But how can you guarantee that you're going to remember that dream, though? Because a lot
that's
of
the
people,
other end of the problem. And actually, this is something that people are studying from the physiology end of things. You know, people who do psychology, physiology, and look at brain function, because there's something interesting about brain chemistry and dreaming. We come out of a dream, we have this intense, vivid experience. Sometimes, I mean, sometimes they're fuzzy, and we think, oh, I'm never going to forget this. And then you get up and go brush your teeth, and all of a sudden it's gone. Some people think that there's a similar process to that dream forgetting that there is in forgetting childhood memories sometimes, and also forgetting other kinds of intense experiences like childbirth, for example. That there's something actually chemically going on with the brain that really does make dreams difficult to remember. So that is something that you need to work on and learn also if you want to be able to work with your dreams. Now, there's a lot of variation in this across the population. And so, for example, I would say that one of the main reasons why I became interested in dream work in the first place was that I've had very vivid dreams since I was very young.
and you have no trouble remembering them.
Well, sometimes I do, but you know, they would stay with me and they would be in my mind and I would feel them, and so I had a felt need to do something with this material that was part of my life on a regular basis.